welcome to Legacy IAS. Okay, so this is class 6th NCERT chapter 12, which is the 12th chapter as well, that is Beyond Earth. Okay, so this is just introduction to basic, basics of astronomical objects. What are they? Sun, Earth, all these celestial bodies. How can you observe them? Very good, simple chapter. Okay, now let's get started. First, it talks about Nubra. Nubra Valley you must have read, correct? Always in news. This is a region in Ladakh. Okay, so then it talks about two brothers who have gone there. Now, through them, they will be telling us many different things about different astronomical observations. See, what is this? This is Ladakh. Now, you must know this that Ladakh is a cold desert. It's a cold desert. Okay, now because of being a cold desert, and it also has is a at very high altitude, close to like 4,500 meters, that kind of altitude. Okay, so it has everything. It has very high mountain peaks, it has glaciers, and it is very famous for its night sky. Okay, what is night sky here? So night sky is something that you don't get to see in Bangalore. That is all the stars, okay, sometimes some planets also. All this are visible. All these are visible at night in these places. Why? Why not in places like, let's say, Bangalore? Because there is a lot of light pollution in Bangalore. That's why you're not able to see the stars or any celestial objects like this. But see how beautiful it looks in Ladakh. Now, because it is a cold desert, you can see it here. What advantage you get is that you get clear skies. Okay, you get extremely clear skies. Now, let's see this. So then it talks about stars and constellations. So you understood why Ladakh is chosen, because Ladakh provides that cloudless nights, okay, very low light pollution, all that, and they are doing observations there. Now, now it talks about stars and constellations next. What are this? So constellation, see, earlier it used to be called group of stars. Certain groups of stars identified by different communities, different cultures around the world. It was groups of stars that we call constellation. But what is the scenario right now? The scenario right now is that the region, the specific region where these particular stars are found, that is called constellation. Okay, we'll see this more in detail later on in this chapter on. First, let's understand this. So some groups of star appears to form patterns which are like shapes of familiar things. Correct? You might have heard of Saptarishi. Correct? At least that. So different patterns of stars they have formed. This cultures have formed. Okay, different cultures have formed this in different ways. For example, you see, if these are your 5 points, now what shape is this? This can be any shape, correct? This can be a shape like this, correct? It can be shaped like this, like a diamond. Also, let's make the 5 stars. Let's make the 5 stars again. Now see. Now, can you see I have made another star using the same 5 stars, correct? So there is no particular precise pattern of which object they represent. It depends on how people saw it culturally. Okay, so what used to happen, like not in the modern world. In the modern world, what you do at night? You're watching reels, correct? You're just scrolling reels. Somehow you become bored and then you sleep. Now, it didn't used to happen in the olden times. People used to sleep under the open sky, and they didn't have so much light, this that, no pollution was there. So what they used to do at night, it used to be completely dark. The only sources of light they could see was the moon and the stars. That's why they wrote so many poems and all also on moon and stars. So they used to gaze up in the sky, and they used to just form patterns as a hobby. Okay, that this is joining to this is joining to this, and this is forming, let's say, a star, a saptrishi, or whatever. So this is how the names of the constellations came. Okay, then, so these imaginary, focus on imaginary shapes helped in recognizing stars in the sky. Then the next time they could again see the same pattern, and then they could see that same stars have appeared again. Then recognizing stars and their patterns was a useful skill for navigation in olden times. Very important. Okay, for example, there is something called as pole star that always points towards north direction, always. Okay, so similarly, all these constellations were used in navigation. Then, now see, currently the term constellation refers to defined regions in the sky that often include these pattern of stars. So this is no more about collection of stars, it is about the regions where you find this particular collection. Understood? Then see this. Different cultures denoted constellation boundaries in different ways. We understood this, correct? Then, then, but what was lacking was, now what was lacking was there was no international consensus. So then came this international agreed set of constellations were missing. So then they were defined by International Astronomical Unit. This was done in the early 20th century. Okay, that is 1900 something, correct? So this is astronomical International Astronomical Union. Understood? Now 88 constellations have been officially listed. Now they are regions, so 88 regions like this. Then now next thing it talks about is this. See, so there it talks about some constellations are shown in the figure, the three stars in the middle which represent the belt of the hunter. Now see how it works. So basically just see the regions, see this diagram. Can you see some constellations and stars in particular regions? Correct. You can see here Canis Major, you can see here Orion, Taurus. If you remember, this is all the what do you call it, uh, astrology. In astrology you have different symbols. So this is Taurus, this is also my sign. Okay, so Taurus, all these are some things that they identified in the sky. Okay, now see, it says the red line indicate the patterns of the star, correct, while the green lines indicate the regions in the sky. This is green line and these are the red lines. Understood? The pattern are not very like important to you to understand, because as I told you, this is not unique, this is according to cultures, and these are some of the major identified ones. Okay, then see more, see more. Can you see an Orion? See this Orion, it seems like a person who is holding some kind of weapon, correct? Then there is Sirius, there is Pleiades, or also called Kritika. Kritika may be name of some person here. Okay, then Canis Major. So all these are different kinds of constellations, or basically star patterns, and the regions surrounding it are called constellations. Then it talks about Indian astronomy. So in Indian astronomy you have something known as nakshatra. Nakshatra is used to denote certain star or group of stars such as Ardra and Kritika, a group of stars called this in Taurus constellation. Okay, similarly there is Rohini. So all these are different names that are given in our culture. Taurus, Orion is given in some other cultures. Then now, now see this two distinct pattern of stars. The bigger dipper and the little dipper are shown here. Now observe this. This is what I was talking about. This is the pole star. Can you see now? This is the pole star. The Big Dipper lies in the Ursa Major, while the Little Dipper lies in the constellation Ursa Minor. Now, in India, the Big Dipper is known as Saptarishi. Pole star is known as Dhruv Tara by us. Correct? Then, see, many forest dwelling communities, they have some other stories, all that is given. Now we come to night sky watching. Okay, so if it is a clear cloudless night, then a large number of stars may be visible in the sky. If you stay in a big city, you find that the sky is rarely clear. Welcome to Bangalore. And only a few stars are seen in the night sky. This is due to, as we talked about, light pollution, smoke, and dust. Correct? The presence of excessive artificial light at night time is referred to as night pollution. Correct? Because ideally the nights are supposed to be dark, but as you know, night are now very, like, around the world. If you go anywhere, you will find that there are so many lights, so difficult to see anything in the sky. Then the night sky is best viewed from open dark areas. For example, if you go for treks, okay, especially deep in Himalayas, somewhere in Himachal, okay, or Uttarakhand or Kashmir, so there you will find this very well. Ladakh is considered the best in this. Now, see, light pollution has grown so much that something which was available for free, everybody could see this. There was no monopoly, na? Correct? Almost all the places in the world were clean enough. They didn't have any light pollution. So everybody could see the same star patterns. That's why so much of poetry was written, that the same sky can be seen by other person also. That's why so many things were written. But the problem now is so stark that the issue of light pollution is so stark that now there are some dark sky reserves and parks that have been established around the world. Light pollution in the reserve is controlled to preserve dark skies for research. So you are protecting areas from light pollution itself. This is the condition. So India's first dark sky reserve, this has been opened in Hanle, Ladakh. Okay, I think this is also given later. Okay, then now the pole star. So pole star, as I told you, always pointing towards the north. In the northern hemisphere. Now it talks about that the sky look almost similar to everybody around the world, but not exactly same. For example, the pole star is not visible from the southern hemisphere of Earth. Understood? So in the northern hemisphere, the pole star is visible and it always points in the north direction. So can be used for navigation. Then you have something known as Sky Map, which is a very handy app for identification of stars, constellation, plants from mobile phones. Stellarium, all this is also an app. For example, now you can see your night sky online. Okay, like so basically, like, people have their fast during Karwa Chauth and all that. So there, instead of going up on the terrace to find the moon, if the moon has come or not, okay, people do what? People open this on Google to see the night sky, and it also tells about the visibility of moon. So from that only they know that moon is now visible, moon is not visible, or when it will be visible again, and then they manage. Okay, then preparation for night sky watching, this is fine. Next is, by the way, which star is closest to us? You know, it is the sun. And this is why the sun appears so big to us, while the star appears so small, twinkling very far away. Now, some of these stars, for example, maybe this one, which looks the smallest to you, may be bigger than sun. But because it is so far, that's why it looks very small to us. Now, see, the sun is a star that is closest to us. It is extremely hot spherical ball of gases. What it is? It is a spherical ball of gases. Then the sun gives out huge amount of energy, and that is why it glows slow brightly. Now, how that energy is released, this we will read in higher classes. This is because of nuclear fusion. So there is nuclear fusion on the sun. Okay, then the sun produces heat and light and is the main source of energy on earth. It is also sometimes called as free energy because it is freely available in our system, as in earth. Okay, then how big is the sun? It is 100 times the diameter of earth, that big. And still it looks so small because it is very far from earth, very far. Then what is the distance between earth and sun? Now it seems so simple that people could see the sun. Most probably the olden cultures must have also tried to go there. Okay, somehow can we reach there? They didn't have the apparatus or machines to go up in the sky, but they wouldn't have thought that it will be so far. Correct? In their imagination, like for example, if I am in Bangalore, I cannot even see a nearby place. I cannot see Bangalore. So they must not have thought that it will be so far. Correct? That it will be like 150 million kilometer far. Correct? By some observations, they may have observed that it is very far, but just understanding the gravity of it, gravity here in the more in literary sense, that it is 150 kilometer distance is very less likely. Then so this 150 kilometer is also considered one astronomical unit. Through this also we measure distances, like one unit is, you know, is light year. So this is another unit. Then the sun, being the brightest object and source of light and heat on earth, was elevated in most ancient civilization as a deity, which I think is fine. Correct? We keep on we keep our religious beliefs in many things that are not even visible to us. Now just because we understand that this is sun, this has so much of light and energy, there is nuclear fusion, does not mean it does not, like, it is such a weird thing that sunlight can actually control your entire mood. If you have vitamin D deficiency, your mood won't be lightened up. Correct? it can also it can also help you fight many diseases. It is the most important natural disinfectant also. Correct? Then it is a free source of energy. Anybody can trap this. It provides light for you in the entire daytime, and it has been doing this for millions and billions of years and will continue to do so. So, of course, there is something magical about the sun, at least for the people living on Earth. Then, however, the sun is much closer to us than the other stars, hence it appears bigger to us. Then, during daytime, due to extreme brightness of the sun, it is not possible to view other stars from the earth. So it does not mean that the other stars are not twinkling in the day, but because the sun is so bright, so you cannot see any of the stars. Then now see, this is good. So there is, after our sun, there is a star called Proxima Centauri. Now, this is approximately 2,69,000 AU, astronomical units, which was 150 million kilometer. That was the distance between Earth and Sun. That many times the Earth and Sun is the distance of the next star. Now you understood why they look so small. Then it says our Earth along with some of these objects and the Sun together form the solar system. Correct? The Sun and everything rotating around it. See, this is Sun. Correct? This is Mercury, the first planet. Then Venus. Venus is actually the second planet, but the hottest. Correct? Because Venus, because of its mass, also has a very strong atmosphere. Now, because it has a very strong atmosphere, atmosphere also traps heat. Correct? So it traps much more heat than Mercury itself. That's why Venus is the hottest planet. Then it is also very bright. This you can see in the sky also in the like early mornings and like late evenings or evenings. Then you have Earth. Because Earth has so much water, it looks almost blue. Then you have Mars. Because the Martian soil is red, so that's why it looks red. Then you have all these four, which are called gaseous planets. So they are not solid in nature, they are mostly gases. Okay, so this is Jupiter, this is Saturn, this is Neptune, and this is something that has been eliminated from the planet, that is Pluto. Pluto, after 2006, it is not considered a planet anymore. Okay, now, so these are our solar system planets. Now, a planet is what? A planet is a large, nearly spherical object that revolves around the sun. Our Earth is a planet. As it revolves around the sun, the Earth takes nearly 1 year to complete one revolution. Correct? 1 year, one revolution is, that is why all the seasons that are there in your whatever place you live, all the seasons you are able to see within this 1 year. Then it repeats. Correct? Then, like Earth, all these planets also revolve around the sun. Now, what do you think this is? Is this some design? Huh? Is this some kind of design? No, these are actually asteroids. Asteroids are also particles that are revolving around the sun. They may be very large also, very small also. They are located between the orbits of between Mars and Jupiter. These are asteroids. Then one more thing you can see. What are these? These are comets. Correct. So comets are actually made up of what? Ice and other many things. Now what happens when it moves closer to the sun? What will happen? Or to the heat source? What will happen? Suddenly all this starts becoming gas. So that's why they seem to have a tail. Okay, then see this. So there are 8 planets, as we understood: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The 4 inner planets till Mars are smaller in size. They have solid surfaces with rocks on them. Correct? Then, while the other one are gaseous. Then, in the ancient time, we used to call them Buddha, Mercury, Shukra, Venus, Prithvi, okay, Mangal, all that. Then, what is Venus? So Venus is usually seen, as I told you, shining brightly at dawn and dusk, and is commonly called the morning star or the evening star, even though it is not a star. So remember this. What is a morning star or an evening star? Venus itself. Because earlier we didn't understand that it is a planet. Then Mars is the red planet. I told you why it appears red. Then why Earth is called the blue planet. The 4 outermost planets are much larger compared to Earth and are mostly made of gas and ice. These giant planets have large flat ring-like structures around them, which are made of dust particles and rocky materials. Like the most famous one is the Saturn ring, like this. Then planets get most of their energy from the sun. So farther they are, the colder they will get. Correct? Like Mercury was very hot, Venus was very hot, Earth was just right. Then Mars becomes colder, Jupiter is very cold, and it goes on like this. Correct. Now, it also talks about the atmosphere trapping the heat. And that's why I gave you the explanation why Venus is hotter than Mercury. Then, then it talks about Pluto. As I told you, after 2006, now it is considered not a full planet but a dwarf planet only. Correct. So now we have only 8 planets. Now, now it talks about Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn can also be seen with the naked eye. So Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, all this. Okay. Of course, not Neptune. Then they are far away. They are so far away that they look like shining dot like stars. Unlike planets, the stars appear to twinkle around. So star, because they're constantly releasing a lot of light, so they appear to be twinkling. While the planets, what they are doing, they are just reflecting light. Correct. They don't produce light on their own, so that's why they don't seem twinkling. Even if you see Venus, you must have seen some different colored planet, you must have seen at early mornings. Okay, that you must have seen. It is not shiny or it is not twinkling. Why? Because it is just reflecting light. It cannot produce light. Then then it talks about natural satellites. So satellites are anything that revolves around a larger body. Natural satellites are what? Which are naturally revolving around a larger body. For example, for Earth, this is Moon. So if this is Earth, then Moon goes round and round and round around Earth. Correct? Now, we have also started calling all the natural satellites of a planet as moons. Correct? Now, Jupiter and other planets, of course, don't have any artificial satellites because, as far as we know, there is no life in them. Correct? There is no life on these planets. On Earth, we have natural satellite as well as the artificial satellites that we keep sending. Okay. Then, then it talks about the moon. So, what is moon? Moon takes around 27 days to revolve around Earth, and that is why you can see all the phases of moon within a month. Correct? The moon is full, then shorter, smaller, 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 then becomes half, then becomes crescent, then goes one day, then comes back. It goes on like this. Correct? So continuous cycle. Now, how big is the moon? So sun was 100 times the earth. Now the moon is about quarter of the size of the earth in diameter. So this is, if let's say this is the diameter of Earth, this is diameter by 4. The moon's surface shows circular bowl-like structures called craters. Correct? These are craters like this. Okay, that in poetry you call it dag, chand mein dag. Okay, then most of these craters have been formed due to impact of asteroids or rocks from the space hitting the surface. Then although moon is very far, humans have sent missions. In fact, even us, we have sent our Chandrayaan mission. Correct? Chandrayaan 1, 2, 3. The 3 was very successful, as in for the first time we landed on the far side of the moon. Correct? Then that is also called moon's south pole. On this day only, where we did Chandrayaan 3, because of this only, 23rd August has been declared as the National Space Day in India. Fine. Then next we come to asteroids. What are asteroids? So the sun and the planets are nearly spherical in shape. There are many objects in solar system which are rocky and irregular in shape. This is asteroid. These are called asteroids. Many of these asteroids revolve around the sun in paths that lie between those of Mars and Jupiter. We saw that. This region is called the asteroid belt. Correct? Occasionally, some asteroid come very close to Earth also. Then we have to do the calculation. Should we do something about it, or will it leave the earth, will it not hit the earth? So all this goes on. Now size of asteroid can be from 10 meter to 500 kilometer. As I told you, can be very big also, very small also. Now comets is the thing we need to understand. As I told you, these are objects with long tails are called comets. Now see, they are made up of dust, gases, rocks and ice. As comets approach close to the sun, the frozen material in it starts evaporating. This evaporating gives it the tail that you know comets are famous for. Then as they move away from the sun, they will become dimmer, and then it is not possible to find them with naked eyes. Then there are many comets that have been found to revolve around the sun. Okay, these comets approach close to the sun periodically. Now, however, very few comets do escape our solar system and they will go to some other solar system or somewhere else in the universe, but very few. Or sometimes they fall into the sun or other planets itself. When they are very close to them, then they are attracted by the gravity of the sun or the planet because they have mass, and they drop there. The sun, 8 planets and their moons and many smaller objects including asteroids and comets together now form the solar system. Understood? Now there is a very famous comet called Halley's comet. Now according to its revolution, we have found out that every 76 years we will get to see it, which is also the average age of human, correct? So it will be very rare if a human is able to see Halley's comet twice. Okay, then its last appearance was in 1986. Now in India, in Hindi, Sanskrit, whatever, you call a comet as Dhoomketu. Can you see that in India as well as in other cultures, because we could observe the sky so well, we have seen so many phenomena and we have called them names also. Now most people like us sitting here, we have not seen a comet, correct? But they have. Then the sun, our star, is the largest and heaviest object in the solar system. Sun produces almost all the energy, others are just reflecting that energy. Then we come to the Milky Way galaxy. What is this? The entire galaxy that has our solar system and many other solar systems like this is called Milky Way galaxy. Now you can see this also. So in the moonless night sky, viewed from dark locations away from the satellites, one can see an extending faint band of light from near north to south across the sky. Okay, like this. What is this? This is Milky Way, or in Hindi we call it Akash Ganga. Okay, what it has? A galaxy has millions to billions of stars. Our solar system is part of Milky Way galaxy. Understood? Then at last, see how we started. We started very small. That is, what is a planet? Correct. What is a satellite? Then we move to sun. Then we move to solar system. Then we move to Milky Way, which has many solar systems. Now we move to galaxy, which has many. Sorry. Now we move to universe, which has many galaxies. So there are many galaxies in the outer space beyond the Milky Way also. Scientists keep on studying them to understand the universe better and to understand if there is life somewhere outside Earth also. Okay. So till now we have not found any such life in any planet. We keep on finding out similar conditions. So in some places, for example in Mars and all, we have found certain particles like DNA, RNA. Okay. So these basically mainly RNA and some kinds of organic molecules, all these we have found, but we are yet to find like proper life and the conditions like Earth. So we are still finding out. Maybe there exist some other planets that has people as well. Maybe we will reach them or they will reach us. Okay. Then So all this is just exercise for you. See the same diagram they are asking you to fill now, and some different patterns, sky, see all these constellations now together, correct? Then this you have to see. This I told you about also. This is India Astronomical Observatory in Henley. This is situated atop the highest peak of Dikpa Ratsari mountain range in Henley, Ladakh. This peak has been renamed as Mount Saraswati. So on Mount Saraswati, that is in on the Henley, Ladakh, you have the dark sky reserve. Can you see this? Yeah, this is a dark sky reserve. So basically what you will do, you will go inside this, then this will open so that the dust does not settle. It is usually closed. Then at night, this will open and you can observe the entire sky. Then one of them called the Himalayan Chandra telescope, which has been named after Nobel Prize winning scientist Subramaniam Chandrasekhar. It is an observatory at one of the highest locations in the world. Okay, so one of these is Himalayan Chandra telescope. This Chandra Subramaniam Chandrasekhar, he had won Nobel Prize in I think 1983. Okay, his main research was about black holes, dark matter, and all that. We'll study about them in some later years. Then the area surrounding this observatories was assigned as Henley Dark Reserve in December 2022. The reserve is open to the public throughout the year. Local peoples have also provided some small amount of training so as to promote astro tourism. So like you have normal tourism, which tell you that here was where the king used to sleep, where there was king used to sit and give judgments, all that, correct? So similarly, they have trained the local people in very basic understanding of astronomy, how to use a telescope, all those small things, so that so as to promote astro tourism in the region. Okay, so this is it. This ends our class 6th NCERTs. Thank you.